In the heart of ancient Rome, one man learned to bend an empire to his will. He was not born a king, yet he would die more powerful than one. His name still echoes through history's marble halls, Julius Caesar. This is a story of ambition without limits, of a man who understood that power is never given. It is taken, forged in blood, betrayal, and unbreakable will. Rome, 100 BC, a republic proud of its laws, yet drowning in corruption and rivalry. Senators posture for glory, while the poor starved in narrow streets. Into this world of ambition and instability, a boy named Gaius Julius Caesar was born. Into a noble family with little wealth, but a name whispered to descend from gods and kings. Young Caesar grew up watching Rome tear itself apart. Civil wars, assassinations, shifting loyalties. Chaos was his classroom. He studied rhetoric, strategy, and the fragile art persuasion. Even as a teenager, he refused to bow to tyrants, defying a dictator's order to divorce his wife. It was an early sign. This was a man who would rather risk death than surrender his will. At sea, pirates once captured the young Caesar, holding him for ransom. He mocked their demand, insisting they ask for more, and promised, calmly, that he would return to crucify them all. When freed, he kept his word exactly. It was more than revenge. It was a declaration. Caesar's threats were never empty, and his patience always had a price. Returning to Rome, Caesar began his true campaign, not with swords, but with charm. He borrowed staggering sums to fund lavish games, feeding and entertaining the masses. While senators debated in marble chambers, Caesar built something far stronger, the love of the people. Popularity, he understood, could open doors that noble blood alone never would. To seize real power, Caesar needed allies. He forged a secret pact with two of Rome's most formidable men, the wealthy Crassus and the celebrated general Pompey. Together, they formed the First Triumvirate, an alliance built on ambition, not trust. Quietly, without a single battle, three men now controlled the fate of the entire Roman world. Elected consul, Caesar wasted no time. He pushed through radical land reforms for veterans and the poor, defying the outraged Senate at every turn. When rivals tried to block him, he simply ignored their vetoes and ruled by will alone. Rome watched, stunned, as one man began rewriting the rules of the Republic itself. Then came Gaul, vast, wild, and unconquered. For nearly a decade, Caesar led his legions through forests and fortresses, facing fierce tribal warriors in brutal, relentless campaigns. His victories were ruthless and complete, expanding Rome's borders further than ever before. Soldiers worshipped him, the Senate feared him, and Rome itself trembled at the general's growing, unstoppable shadow. Ordered to disband his army and return as a private citizen, Caesar faced a choice that would define history. At the icy banks of the Rubicon River, he paused, knowing that crossing it meant war against Rome itself. Then he spoke the words that sealed his fate. The die is cast. His legions marched forward, and the Republic began to crumble. Panic swept through Rome. Pompey and the Senate fled south, abandoning the city Caesar had once served. What followed was not conquest, but civil war, Roman against Roman, legion against legion. Caesar moved with terrifying speed, outmaneuvering every army sent against him. Each victory brought him closer to a throne the Republic swore it would never allow. At Pharsalus, Caesar's outnumbered forces crushed Pompey's mighty army through sheer tactical brilliance. Pompey fled to Egypt, seeking refuge, but found betrayal instead, murdered on a foreign shore. When Caesar arrived, he wept at the sight of his former ally's severed head. There, amid Egypt's golden palaces, he met a queen named Cleopatra, and Rome's destiny shifted once more. Caesar returned to Rome not as a general, but as its undisputed master. The Senate, desperate and defeated, named him dictator. First for years, then for life. Crowds cheered his name in the streets. Statues rose in his honor. Yet beneath the celebration, a dangerous question grew louder. Had Rome traded one tyrant's shadow for another's throne? Caesar ruled not just with the sword, but with vision. He reformed the calendar, creating a system the world still follows today. He extended citizenship, resettled veterans, and rebuilt crumbling cities. To the common people, he was a savior rewriting their future. To the aristocracy, he was something far more terrifying, a king in everything but name. In the shadows of the Senate, fear curdled into conspiracy. Men who once called Caesar friend began to whisper daggers. They saw not a reformer, but a tyrant who had buried the republic beneath his own ambition. 60 senators, driven by pride, fear, and desperation, made a solemn pact. Caesar's growing power had to end, whatever the cost. On the Ides of March, Caesar entered the Senate, dismissing warnings of danger as idle superstition. Surrounded suddenly by former allies, he felt the first blade strike, then another and another, 23 wounds in total. Legend says his final words were for Brutus, a man he had trusted like a son. On the marble floor, Rome's mightiest man fell silent forever. Caesar died believing he was saving Rome. Instead, he destroyed the republic completely. His death sparked new wars, and from the ashes rose an empire under his heir, Augustus. Caesar's name became a title carried by emperors for centuries. He mastered power so completely that even in death, his shadow never left Rome. Some legacies simply refuse to die.